Hi guys, welcome back to the Totally Magic channel, and I think I've come up with one of the ultimate in card transference routines. I think you're going to like this one. It's called In Isolation, and it uses a brand new deck of cards. Now you can see that this is sealed up all around. It's a brand new deck of cards. We're going to just remove all of the plastic, if I can get that off. Okay, and we'll break the seal. There we go. Most of you will know that when you have a brand new deck of cards, it comes with some commercial cards and some jokers at the other end. Now we don't need those either for this particular trick. What we've got here is what's known as new deck order. 52 cards in sequence. If you look closely, ace to king, king to ace, king to ace. But what's more important about this is that the fact they're in blocks of colours. Red, black, red, black. And we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to take all of the reds and all of the blacks and put them together. Reds and blacks. I want you to choose a colour, red or black. Red. We'll come to those in a moment. Meanwhile, we're going to isolate the black cards here. You can see all 26 black cards. We're going to isolate those by these elastic bands. You see, we want to isolate them so nothing can get in and nothing can get out. You can see that quite clearly, and we're going to leave that in full view throughout. We come to the red cards. Your choice, but you're going to make another choice, a choice of card. But what we'll do first of all is we'll just mix them up a little bit like this. Now you're going to choose one of these cards from the pack, an absolute free choice. To do that, just call stop as I push the cards across. Stop at any point. Stop there. I'm going to look away. Just remember that card. Have you got it? We're going to isolate these as well. In fact, I'm going to get you to isolate them in the box. If you can take these, in fact, I tell you what, a better idea. Hold the palm of your hand out, and what we do, we won't use the box. We'll use your hands. So we'll take these cards, put them on the palm of your hand. Can you put your other hand over the top? Now you've got this in isolation. Isolated in isolation. For the first time, I want you to reveal your chosen card. Now we know it's a red card, but what was the red card that you freely chose?
10 of hearts.
The 10 of hearts. Watch. 1, 2, 3. Did you see it? Of course you didn't. This is a magic trick. Everything's invisible. But believe it or not, your card has vanished. Have a look. Now the spectator will look at their cards as they go through. One card is missing. Let me take those from you and show the audience. If we spread them, you'll notice all the cards are in sequence. But if we look here, there's one missing between the Jack of Hearts and the 9 of Hearts. It just happens to be your card has gone from here. Remember the black cards that have been isolated from the very beginning. Look. Slowly and deliberately we shall unlock these. The cards have been sitting here all along. I want you to watch as the cards drift from hand to hand. Look at the colours. Did you spot that? A glint of red. Could it be And there, among all the black cards, in the middle is one card, and one card only in red. It just happens to be your freely chosen 10 of hearts. And that is the impossible transference. You can examine everything. So here is the tutorial for this effect, which I think in the hands of a professional magician could be absolutely outstanding. 2 packets of cards isolated, a freely chosen one right up to the last minute of an opposing colour suddenly vanishes from between their hands and appears in an isolated packet that's been sitting in full view all the time. And the revelation of the black and the red, wow, I think it's a brilliant trick. In fact, I should have sold this on Penguin. But anyway, let's get into the secret. Now, you probably looking here and thinking, wow, there seems to be a lot of preparation. It looks worse than what it is. Basically, there's several ways of performing this trick, and this is something that I came up with quite recently, just sitting there card mucking in front of the TV one night. How to get a card go from one place to another. Now, I know we've done tricks like that before, but I think this one is really special. First of all, you don't have to use a brand new deck of cards, okay? It can be done with a mixed deck of cards. But let me go through the performance to give you an idea of how the prep is done. First of all, the main bulk of the deck is regular. They are in new deck order, okay? All of these are in new deck order. There's one thing you need to do. If you want to do the breaking of the seal, then as you know, on the internet, usually eBay or a magic dealer, you can buy the little stickers that you stick over these to make it appear as though the box is sealed. Now, normally that's as far as I go. You don't need to have the cellophane over the top like I did, because to be honest, most general public buy a new deck of cards every 30 years. Trust me, they do not know that new decks come in cellophane. So you can do away with that. However, if you did want to go the full Monty and have the cellophane over there as well, you can either try and rescue it from a new deck of cards, open it carefully and peel off the cellophane, or what I did was I bought some of these about 10 years ago. Now it's called, there was a gadget made for magicians that allowed them to reseal packs of cards. It was called the Wonder Sealer, and it came with a little gadget that got hot, it heated up, and you could seal a new deck of cards. And it came with these pieces of cellophane. Now the camera's not going to pick this up, but it's a piece of cellophane that's got the little tear strip in it, and that's how they came. And basically I bought a couple of the refill packs. You can buy the refill packs of these, so it's called the Wonder Sealer, and I bought a couple of these about 10 years ago. I very rarely use them, but you just wrap them around, and I just use a bit of sellotape to stick them together, or a bit of glue, and you've got what it appears to be a brand new deck of sealed cards. You don't need this, okay? So let's put that to one side. What else have I got? Apart from the sticker, you need some of these, or make them yourself. These ones I actually made myself by taking a photograph of the sticker that I peeled off and printed it on some sticky paper. So let me go through what I've got. On the box, this plays a vital role for us amateur magicians. Okay, if you're a professional, you're probably not going to have to use this, but for me, I do. And all that I've done is I've used a box. If you buy the bicycle cards that have the picture of the back of a playing card like that, okay, so it matches. Now if you can't get hold of those, then just use a regular bicycle box and glue an old playing card, maybe a joker or something, on there so it looks as though it's part of the box. Okay, because we need to disguise the stealing of the chosen card. Yep, that's how it works. What I've done is I've put a little bit of sticky tape here, just the tiniest amount. You don't need much, just a little bit there. So let me just go through what I've got here. You've got a regular deck of cards, new deck order. Remember, if you're not familiar with that, that goes hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades, and it's ace to king, king to ace, king to ace. You have the ace of spades on the front. That's new deck order. You then get hold of another card, a duplicate 10 of hearts. Oh, by the way, this is the card that I'm going to force. Okay, so you're forcing the 10 of hearts, but you can force any card, it's up to you. I just happen to have a spare 10 of hearts, so that's what I'm going to force. Now, where does this go? Well, if we take this, I'm going to put this behind the queen. Okay, so it goes behind. However, I don't want people to see it. So what I've done is I've just spread the smallest amount of roughing on there. Okay, now I use this. It's a roughing stick. Okay, and I literally just rub a little bit. You don't want much. Okay, I just rub that on the face there. Now, if you don't have this, remember a quick cheat. Get your mother's favourite candle. A clear white candle will do. And just to prove this, it's not ideal, but as a makeshift, to save you going out buying a roughing stick or roughing fluid, roughing spray, just to do this trick. Here I've got a couple of old cards. As you can see, they slip apart. If I was to just rub a bit of the candle on here, now you don't want much, just a little bit. Now when I put these together, if I put some pressure on, they don't slip apart. Okay, but if I loosen the pressure, they slip. So if I put pressure on, yeah, I can't slip those apart. That's all you want, is a temporary grip. Okay, using a candle if you haven't got anything else. Anyway, let's say that you've actually put this on. Let me just take this roughing stick out and just put just a little slight rubbing of that on there. I have to be honest, I'm not a great fan of this. Okay, I prefer the spray. Now this goes behind. Now it doesn't slip. And I put this back into the pack like that. Now there's one other thing that I'm going to do on the back of the 10 of hearts. This is the one that comes in the pack. Is that I've actually put half a sticker on one end. Why have I done that? Well, remember, we're going to dump this on here and we want it to look the same. Okay, so I put that and I put it to the bottom like that. Everything's done with a pack. Square these up. I then add the couple of commercial cards at the back, the jokers on the front, pop them in the box, and if you do want to seal them up, then just get one of the little seals on there, put that on there and seal it up. And you need a couple of elastic bands if you want. You don't have to. You might want to use a box, an envelope or anything. But I use a couple of elastic bands. You're good to go. That's it. I know it seemed a lot, but trust me, if you think about it, it's just a couple of bits of prep with the 2 10 of hearts. In my case, you can use any card. Once you've got that, you introduce the cards, say we've got a brand new deck of cards. I'm going to break the seal. So you go through and you break the seal like that. Okay. Take out the cards. There's your box there. Now what I do is I put this over on my right, because that's how I want it for the move later on. But there is the box, and you can show it's empty. Okay, everything looks clean, they can see that. You remove the commercial cards and the jokers on the front. Get rid of those. You then talk about them being in new deck order. And a nice way of doing this is to spread the cards. And you can see all the sequence. Now, because of our little roughing stick or candle, the 10 of hearts is behind this queen. This is what you've got. Then what I do is I take all of the red cards, the black, the red, and the black. Now here's a bit of a magician's choice here, because I want to isolate the black deck. So you say to them, give me a colour. Now if they said black, you say, okay, we're going to isolate the black cards. If they said red, you say, we'll come to those in a moment, your cards. The other ones you don't want is, now what I do is before I put the elastic bands round, I do spread the cards to give them a one more chance to see all the blacks there. You gather these up and you put the elastic bands round them. Now I like to put a couple of around them to give it more dramatic effect. You put that on the table. Now we come to these, which you can spread like that. Now you need to force the card that you've chosen to force on. Mine is a 10 of hearts. Now you can do this any way you like. The way that I tend to do this is go through the cards, and I'm going to get a break in front of the card I want to force. So I've got a break here. So I've shown them the cards. I then turn the cards over like this, and I've transferred the break. There's the break there. Okay, that's the card they're going to choose. With that break held, I'll exaggerate that. As I push the cards across, you kind of time it so you get close, if not to it. So you say, just call stop. Now, if they called stop here, this is what they've stopped at, but actually, I'm just going to take all the cards, square them up, and show them that, and I look away. Everything at this point is clean. They've seen that card. Now this is the deal. You'll notice in the performance, casually you do this. Okay, I look away, remember that card. Have you got it? Make sure you don't forget it. Did you notice I didn't drop those cards in a big way on top? I actually put them underneath because I want their card on the bottom here. Now I know that my sticker is at this end, so as I take these, I just square them up, turn them around. Now watch, look at this. Not that anyone's going to notice this, trust me, no one's going to notice this next move. You say, I tell you what, I'll get you to isolate these. You square the cards up and I put these on here. I say, oh, what I'm going to do is to get you to isolate these in the box. Then I kind of change my mind. I say, no, I'll tell you what, hold out the palm of your hand. Now as they hold the palm of their hand out, you tip the cards off. Now I don't know whether or not you can see that, but I can put that down. That's actually got the chosen card stuck to it. Don't make a big deal of it. You've taken the cards off. I say, we won't use the box, and you can just throw that down. Everything is clean. Look at that sticker on there. Everything looks nice and clean on there. Now don't forget guys, I'm using this because I'm not very good at card handling. I cannot palm a card or sneak a card out of the pack using my hands at all. So as an amateur, I like to use this method of stealing the card away. For you professionals out there, you might be able to sneak that card out into your pocket, into your lap. The bottom line is you've got to get rid of their chosen card. So I leave that up to you. You might come up with a much better handling to get rid of that. If you work it to the top, palm it off or something like that, that's up to you. As I've tipped these off, put the box down, they're now holding the palm of their hand out. I know it's difficult to imagine because I'm trying to play the role of both parts, but they hold the palm out. I then just casually cut the cards because I want the missing card gap to be in the middle. So I just casually cut them and say, look, we'll isolate them, not in a box, in the palm of your hand. You put them in the palm of the hand, you've done a cut, they put their other hand on top. The trick at this point is done. Really sell it. Yeah. So upsell this trick at this point. Everything's clean. Build up the dramatic. You might want to use a different theme, time travel, Doctor Who, TARDIS, back in time, whatever you come up with. But now it's just a case of you doing some magical pass, and then apparently this is a real strong point because it happens in the hands of the spectator. He will then lift off the cards. He's now named his card, which he only just picked a few moments ago. These cards have been isolated since the beginning. He goes through the cards and he can't find his card. What you want to do is to take the cards from them so that everyone in the audience can see and spread them. They're neatly in sequence, so you find the 9 and the Jack in my case and say there's one card and one card only missing. Now this alone is a trick in itself. The card has gone. The real kicker to this effect is this bit. Make sure they see everything is clean. I guess you could even get the spectators to remove the elastic bands. Now this is the deal. Remember we had the roughing stick to keep the cards together. What I do is I turn the cards face down, I then flick the cards, and the reason I'm flicking those is to separate those two cards that were stuck together. Well, they weren't stuck together, they were just gripping together. That's the difference between sticky tape and roughing fluid and spray, is that it grips, it doesn't stick. Okay, so you do that just to separate them, get a bit of air between the cards. I then flick this over. Now I think this is quite a good move. Grab the cards like this and you're going to dribble the cards, but because they're all black, as you say, I'm going to drift the cards, watch, and as you do this, they spot the colour red because it stands out from all the blacks, and then finally you spread them. Now when you spread these, don't put any pressure on the cards because otherwise the roughing cards will grip together. Just spread the cards like this, and to see that red card appear in the middle of all the black cards, there it is there. The beauty of this trick is there's 52 cards here. This is a full deck now. You can get rid of the box and you can perform some more magic. Yes, you've got a little bit of roughing on there, but that's not going to affect anything because I only put a small amount on there. That'll wear off in a day or two. So do a couple of tricks, performance, and that's a great opening trick that I call in isolation. I hope you enjoy this trick, and what I like about this, the premise of two packets, red and black, one card being chosen, transferred invisibly across, and everything looks impossible. Now the way that I've done this you might think is a little bit long-winded, but remember, I'm trying to do the trick for non-professionals, amateurs, hobbyists. We don't always have the sleight of hand moves. I'm sure as a professional, if you know all these fancy counts, cuts and palmings, you could probably mimic this in a much easier way. But have a little play around, see what parts of this suit your presentation style. For me personally, and because I came up with it, I'm going to say this, I think it's probably one of the best effects that I've actually come up with in a long time. So all I will say to you is practice and enjoy.